Our solar system is considered to consist total of 7 planets, and out of all these 7 planets only, one planet is known to inhabit life forms, and that is the planet Earth. Planet Earth inhabits various types of organisms, like big organisms, small organisms, parasitic organisms. As all these life forms are born on the planet Earth, they tend to naturally survive longest on this planet, unless hunted down by their predators. But what would happen if these organisms are exposed to extraterrestrial environment of the other planets in solar system, and how long would they be able to survive? Let's find out in this video. But first we have to pick a candidate among all living beings of Earth, and the most fair way to do this is to roll the wheel. So let's roll it. What a surprise! So our lucky candidate are humans. Then let's begin the journey without any delay, starting off from planet Mercury. As you spawn on the planet Mercury, you would notice the extreme temperature difference between its two sides. The side facing towards the sun or the daytime of the planet reaches a maximum temperature of 430 degrees Celsius, while the temperature of the side facing away from the sun, or the nighttime of the planet drops lowest to the temperature of minus 180 degrees Celsius. Spawning on the day side of the planet would be like using an industrial oven as sauna, meaning your whole body will be sublimated or vaporized in just few minutes, while spawning on the night side of the planet would lead you to freeze, and then die. Or I should say first die, and then freeze, because you also have to account for its atmosphere, which is as dense as few atoms, and only makes up for the outermost layer of the atmosphere. Conditions like these makes the atmosphere of Mercury almost similar to outer space vacuum, meaning you also have to deal with rupturing of your lungs, boiling of your blood, expansion of your skin due to pressure imbalance between outside and inside of your body, and all those unpleasant things that would happen to you in outer space vacuum without a space suit, aside from the extreme temperature difference. Although Venus is the second closest planet to Sun, but it is hotter than Mercury, and to be honest it is the hottest planet in the solar system, with the average temperature reaching up to 475 degrees Celsius on the planet's surface. This is because of its extremely dense atmosphere, which is around 5,310% denser than Earth's atmosphere, and its atmospheric composition, which is mainly composed of carbon dioxide and thick clouds of sulfuric acid. As carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, it traps heat on the surface of Venus by absorbing more infrared radiation as compared to Earth. So spawning on Venus would simply lead you to. And aside from extremely high temperature, it also has extremely high atmospheric pressure, which is around 92 times more than Earth's atmospheric pressure. Thus standing on the surface of the planet will be equal to being crushed by around 21 elephants, or you can also say being crushed by around 13 blue whales. And let's also not forget its infamous rain of sulfuric acid. Mars, which also stands for Musk's almost real estate, has an atmospheric composition almost similar to that of Venus, but its atmospheric pressure and density is quite the opposite, with just 1% of the Earth's atmospheric density, and atmospheric pressure being 168 times less, making atmospheric pressure of Mars also very close to vacuum. So if you were to spawn on Mars, you will simply just choke to death, while your blood boils and skin expands. And whether your body will freeze or not will depend highly on the season and place you spawn, just like Earth. For example, the temperature in winter drops to around minus 60 degrees Celsius, but it can also reach up to 20 degrees Celsius during summertime, near the equator. Jupiter and Saturn are the two gas giants of the solar system, and lack any solid surface to stand on. Thus they are almost entirely made up of gas, most of which is hydrogen and helium. Their atmosphere can be mainly divided into 4 layers. The temperature of both the planets varies significantly through each of the layers, and reaching up to tens of thousands of degrees Celsius at the core. The pressure, however, increases gradually, and reaches up to hundreds of thousands of bars at the core. This pressure is high enough to turn hydrogen from gas to liquid. So as you start falling in the atmosphere of Jupiter and Saturn, you won't even make past the exosphere. The main cause of your death will be lack of oxygen and extremely high radiation caused by the radiation belts of Jupiter and Saturn, which is high enough to kill you in just few minutes. That means you will never be able to reach the troposphere, which is where most of the atmosphere actually is. But let's suppose that you somehow directly teleported into the troposphere. Then your body will experience such an enormous amount of pressure that it will be in an equilibrium with a pancake. You will experience wind speeds high enough to rip your whole body apart. You are also very likely to get struck by lightning bolt, and the lightning on Jupiter and Saturn is much more powerful than lightning on Earth. But suppose instead of the troposphere you teleport directly into the core. Your whole body will instantly break down into fundamental atoms of which your organic body is composed of, and it will be so quick that you won't be able to experience even the process of your death. Uranus and Neptune are known as the two ice giants of the solar system, but don't get confused from the word ice here, because they too doesn't have any solid surface to stand on. The word ice here is used specifically to describe the physical state of the volatile compounds in their deeper layers, which is neither a gas nor a liquid, something in between, also called a supercritical fluid. Hence the word ice here is used to describe this state, and is caused due to the extremely high temperature and pressure in these deeper layers. Just like Jupiter and Saturn, the atmosphere of Uranus and Neptune can also be mainly divided into 4 layers. However, unlike the gas giants, the temperature in the atmospheric layers of ice giants doesn't vary significantly, and each layer possesses extremely low temperature, except for the mantle and core. However, the pressure variation is similar to the gas giants. So as you start to descend into the atmosphere, you might make it to the very end of the exosphere or the top of the thermosphere, but definitely not any deeper than that. The main cause of your death will be lack of oxygen and extremely low temperature, and although Uranus and Neptune do possess radiation belts, the radiation of those belts are not high enough to kill you in few minutes. Teleporting directly into the troposphere and the core would lead to similar consequences. And if you are wondering about Pluto, dying on Pluto will also be similar to dying in vacuum, due to its extremely low temperature and thin atmosphere. So if you were planning to travel any of these planets on your vacation, I think this video may have changed your mind. And if it did, consider subscribing. And if you are interested in computers, do check my video about quantum computers.